สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีค่ะ
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 Good evening everyone
ครับ
I admit 3 of the ICF Malaysia team to come in.
Yeah,
Enjoy.
thank you very much.
All the best great session
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you. We also send you a background so that you can change also. So let's see.
Hello, Teresa. Nice to see you.
Hello, good to see you.
Hi.
Finally get to see you virtually.
Okay, now more
สตาร์ท
people
เล
is
ยไหมคะ
coming. Yeah.
แชร์ไหม
Yeah, I think it's good to start now.
Okay. Turn on the music first.
Mhm.
Enjoy the session, everyone. Team.
พี่ของยงแอดมินเลยนะคะ
Okay.
แอดมินออก Welcome to the first ever ICF ASEAN Virtual Coaching Summit 2024. I'm Patteera, a president of ICF Bangkok. Together here, we are strengthening and building ASEAN coaching under the theme Future Ready ASEAN Coach.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Nurfani Prastyo, President of ICF Jakarta Charter Chapter. The summit is a milestone collaboration between ICF Bangkok, Jakarta, Malaysia, and Philippines Chapter, uniting us in growth and learning.
I'm Corinne Hoon, President of ICF Malaysia Chapter. We are here to empower ASEAN coaches to thrive in a fast-changing world through shared knowledge and connection.
Hi, I'm Maria Leongson, President of ICF Philippines. Let's make history together as future-ready coaches, creating positive impact across ASEAN.
Enjoy the session.
Good evening, everyone. Selamat malam, magandang gabi, and swadika. A warm welcome to everyone joining us for the first ever ICF ASEAN Virtual Coaching Summit. Future Ready ASEAN Coach, Strengthening Building ASEAN Coaches. This summit is a collaboration among the ICF Bangkok, Malaysia, Jakarta, and Philippines charter chapters. And today is day 3 now. Hosted by ICF Bangkok Charter Chapter, our theme is Integrating Coaching for Organizational Development. My name is Sorat Amatyakul, or you can call me Lian. I am the DEIB Director of ICF Bangkok Charter Chapter, and I will be your MC for today's session. A special thank you as well for our ICF Bangkok team working behind the scene to supporting us. For events agenda and timing, today's session will last about 1 hour and a half from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Bangkok and Jakarta time and 8 to 9:30 p.m. in Malaysia, Singapore, and Philippines. We are honored to have 3 distinguished guest speakers who will be sharing their insight and knowledge with us, and then we will close with a Q&A session. To ensure you get the most benefit of your time in this event, before we begin, please kindly turn off all your audio throughout the session and kindly turn on your camera to co-create our sense of community. Should you have any question, feel free to put it in the chat box and we will address it during the Q&A session. And a quick reminder, let's keep our questions strictly professional, focusing on insights related to coaching. Out of respect to our speaker, please avoid asking for any company-specific information or sensitive topic. Our support team will help facilitate questions to keep the discussion informative and relevant. Small guideline for PDPA notice. A few reminders before we get started. This session will be recorded and may be shared on social media, so please allow for recording in line with PDPA regulation. After the session, all members can claim 1.5 CCE units by completing the session evaluation form, which we will be shared through a link and QR code at the end of the sessions. Okay, before we get started, let's capture these powerful moments together. If possible, please, I would like to invite all of you to turn on your cameras. Okay, and let's mark this moment with a group photos and celebrate our unity.
Okay, for the page 1, smile. Moment, please. Moment, please.
Bear with us.
Keeping your smile. Keeping your
Giving smile
smile.
for a minute. We want to capture all of your beautiful faces.
Okay, 2. Moment, please. There is some new people coming. Okay, 2, smile. Keep smiling. And page 3. Turn on your camera and smile. Okay, great, coaches. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your cooperation. Thank you. And now it's time to dive into our session on integrating coaching for organizational development. Our speaker will share how coaches can bring their expertise into organization, connect effectively with clients, and overcome challenges in partnering with the companies. Let me introduce you to our esteemed speakers. Our first honorable guest, Coach Atchara, Juicharern, MCC. Coach Atchara is the founder and CEO of Acom Group and a pioneer in integrating coaching into leadership with her renowned Leader and Manager as Coach process. Honored as the #1 coach in Asia by Marshall Goldsmith and recognized among Marshall 100 coaches. Coach Atchara brings vast expertise to the field. She is the author of Leader as Coach, Coaching Self, Team, Creating Coaching Culture 2015, and a contributor to Coach Me, Your Personal Board of Director 2022. As an ICF Master Certified Coach, she's also a regular columnist on people management strategy, and she is recently named one of the top 50 coaches by Thinker 50, supported by Coaching.com in 2024. She's continued to shape the coaching landscape across Asia and beyond. Our next honorable guest, Coach Teresa Hoon, PCC. Coach Teresa is a seasoned leader with over 20 years of experience driving cross-functional global team in top multinational corporate. Currently, as a director of the Program Management Office at Atchara, the Intel company, she is a certified Chief Master Coach and active ICF member. Teresa contributes to her organization's coaching community and play a pivotal role in launching HPCC High Performance Coaching Culture initiative within her organization in Malaysia. Before and beyond corporate responsibilities, Teresa collaborates with diverse leaders to unlock potential and also dedicate time to coach and mentoring underprivileged university students towards success. Her dedication is truly inspiring. To our next honorable guest, Coach Bambang Yapri, PCC. Coach Bambang is a highly respected leadership, career, and sales coach with over 20 years in corporate leader development across various industries, including FMCG, pharmaceutical, and technology. Recognized among Indonesia Distinguished Human Capital Leader for 2024 and Asia Top HR Leader. Coach Bambang has a track record of empowering individuals and organizations through his coaching and leadership. Currently, he serves as the Human Capital Director at Bina Kraya Prima and a Vice President of the Indonesia HR Association and President-elect of the ICF Jakarta Charter Chapter. With a passion for helping others reach their maximum potential, he has truly embodied his motto, "Be a better you." Finally, we're fortunate to have Coach BakChai PCC as our moderator today. With his extensive experience working and living across the US, Singapore, Thailand, Hong Kong, China, and Malaysia, Coach BakChai brings a global perspective to today's session. His career spanned diverse industries, focusing on operational leadership, executive coaching, and guiding leaders through complex business challenges. Known for his coaching-centered leadership approach, Coach BakChai has successfully helped senior executives navigate strategic decisions, develop key skills, and prepare for future leadership roles. His expertise in fostering growth, clarity, and alignment makes him the perfect moderator for today's session. So please, everyone, join me in welcoming all the three of our speakers and our moderator for today's session. And now I would like to pass this Zoom space to Coach BakChai.
Good evening to everyone. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes.
You are muted.
Great. Look, let me start again. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. So I think I'm like the opportunity to thank ICF ASEAN for the opportunity to be the moderator for today's session. This is day 3. For those who have joined day 1, day 2, I think we welcome you on the day 3. So I'm deeply honored to be among our presence of our distinguished guests. So 3 of our distinguished guests, as we have just shown here. So among the 3 of them, we have an internal coach and also external coach. So to cover for today's session, we will have 2 perspectives from the internal people, or we call internal coaches, and also external coaches. So for today's topic, we'll go through questions and on a few areas of integrating coaching into an organization for organization development. So welcome to our 3 panelists. Thank you very much. We'll make it a conversation of free flow. Feel free to add, in between if you think that is necessary to make this a quality conversation that our attendees can have some great takeaway and gain value from this session. So thank you very much on behalf of ICF ASEAN. So we would like to start with one areas of integrating coaching in organization. The first area we'll look at the role of coaching in the organization. So we'll start with we call the internal coaches. Among the internal coaches are Teresa and Bambang. And external coach is our lady Atchara. So I will be bouncing back and forth between internal and external. So hopefully you can follow through as we respond to some of the questions we will share with them. So starting with our internal coach, we will look at the role of coaching in organization. So what do you think are the primary reasons for implementing coaching in your organization today? And how does it drive value? And what specific outcome does it support? Maybe you want to start with Teresa. Would you respond?
Okay, sure. So, in my view, the primary reasons for implementing coaching in the organizations, especially in my organizations, is both strategic and practical. So why? Because we realize that coaching actually delivers incredible benefits. So in the past few years, we have selected leaders actually get coached by external coaches. But then come and think about it, how many people can we really send for external coaching, right? There's only so many, there's only a handful. And for those who get to have this external coaching opportunity, it's so exclusive. It's like a privilege. But then you look at it, coaching, it actually empowers employees at every level to unlock their potentials. And we know that it's really beneficial. And I see that this is really especially important. And I felt that coaching itself has evolved from like a nice to have to a highly recommended kind of leadership style. And in fact, nowadays we talk about coaching leadership, right? So if coaching is bringing all these good benefits, why not open it up to more people to experience coaching? Those who want to be a coach get the opportunity to be the coach. Those who want to be coached get the opportunity to be coached, right? And I like the saying from AirAsia, they say, now everyone can fly. So I'm saying, why not embrace that? Now everyone can coach or be coached. So that's why in my organization, we try to, I put it in a terms that democratize coaching. So what we did is we tried to develop internal coaching culture. We built the coaching community where coaching is no longer something that's so exclusive. It becomes like an integrated part of our organization DNA. So that's how this coming about. Now, I think BakChai, you talk about what value does coaching brings, right? In my opinion, firstly, it strengthens openness and authenticity. And that's really the important things that create the foundation of trust. Because when the foundation of trust exists, the employee will feel like they are really being supported. They feel that they are heard. They will be more engaged. And that comes with the collaborativeness, the innovations, all these things. And I think on the other hand, it's also bringing benefits to those leaders who go through the coaching program because they get to gain the insights into their own strengths and their areas of improvement. Also get to hear from other people on what their view over them. On top of that, of course, they learn a lot of skills on how to lead the team. So this is kind of like I'm seeing that what the values it come, and of course the outcome, broader base. A lot of us believe that coaching is going to bring effectiveness, productivity, performance, right? All of this will be coming into play when the employee feels that I'm valued, I'm being appreciated, I felt being understood, right? And with that, you can really break down the silos, help in the teamwork, boost the communication. So a lot of benefits that will be coming together that help us to be able to respond faster, be more efficient, stay more agile in this constantly changing.
Thank you very much, Teresa. Let's move on to Bambang. Please do share your thoughts.
Yeah, thank you, BakChai, and also Teresa for sharing. And I want to take to a broader perspective, not only the in my corporations. So I want to take the data from the last survey in 2023 from the ICF with Human Capital Institute and they share with us the result at the end of 2023. And the previous survey is on 2019, and there's also a sum of improvement, but at the same time, there's also a consistent message for all of us that the benefit of cultivating a coaching culture in the organization it is said that there are quite a lot. The first one is about strengthen the leadership development. So this is also the one that I see that it's not only executive coaching, but coaching is part of strengthen the leadership development. So in some of the program from supervisory leadership up to the managerial upper management. And the other one is about boosted employee engagement. So it's interesting because that this is also part of the performance review and also performance feedback session that using a coaching approach, and also increase commitment at the same time, better employee relations, because nowadays if you are seeing that we have multiple generation at the workplace and people want to involve, to contribute. And I think coaching is one of the best approach when we want to see more collaboration and provoke outs during the journey. And it's also improve team functioning, growth in employee emotional intelligence. And if you look further, there's more and more things that relates with well-being, and it's also relate in how that we use coaching at the workplace when we talk about well-being. So I think that's the first thing when we see benefit in organizations. So it really building a new culture for the organizations, but it also relates even when we see the pandemics come, and after the pandemics, the coaching evolves, and we can see that there's more and more modalities. Before, we only see three area of modalities: is internal coachings, internal coach, external coach, and also leader using coaching approach. And later, there's more about coaching platform. So when we are seeing the impact, but at the same time also the cost constraint, if you want to explore more and how that all employees can benefit from that. So maybe that's the start, BakChai, for our discussion.
Oh, thank you very much, Bambang and Teresa, from the internal coach perspective. Well, I'm getting a lot of insight and I'm struggling how to put it on a single word. But anyway, let's proceed with our external coach. So what are the primary reasons for your client to want to implement coaching, Chara?
Well, thank you so much, Coach BakChai. So nice to see your smile. Well, first of all, I would like to thank the ICF ASEAN team for having me also for this wonderful summit. I think this is a great honor, to be with so many people from Asia and probably other part of the world also. Well, having been listening to Coach Teresa and Coach Bambang, I almost have nothing to say because you already cover, every benefits that the organization can get. Well, a little bit about myself, I consider my career to be very fortunate because I have opportunities to perform, to work as a manager, as a coach when I was still working inside the organization. I was also an internal coach, and here I have become an external coach. So back to those days when I was still working in the airlines, not Air Asia, but I was working with an American Airlines. Those days we just apply coaching as part of our leadership role. We try and we attempt to use coaching for many reasons, but we ended up using coaching for performance issues only. However, we didn't anticipate, a bonus value, a bonus benefit that come out of leaders and managers applying coaching conversation. We didn't anticipate it, but what we got as a bonus value is we have less and less communication breakdowns. And if you think about the airlines atmosphere, it was so diverse. We had 50,000 people in 9 different cultures working together. And when we use coaching conversation with one another more, we were able to close or bridge the cross-cultural communication gaps so tremendously. So that's the bonus benefit. Anyway, that was those day. For today, what I have been observing, I think the role of coaching has been expanded a lot in the organization development, especially in the areas of coaching as an enabler of change and transformation. This is what I receive quite many requests from my clients. I think people are seeing coaching as an enabler of change and transformation quite more today, because there have been numerous studies that support it. And also, I think people start to realize that, in the past, changes in the past failed because we overlooked the human factor or human aspect of change. Well, when I say that, I think many of you who are coaches may have questions in your mind already. Well, Kara, please share with us, when, where, and how we apply coaching, in the step of change and transformation. The best way to paint the picture for you within this limited time is to give you an example, a good example of one of my clients. This company is this client company of mine is considered a large size company, and they have over 10,000 of people working in Bangkok and also outside of Bangkok, across our country. The company has been performing very well in most of the areas. However, about 4 years ago, digital technologies and competitors drove them to alter the way they deliver the products and service to customers. So the company needed to accelerate the digital transformation and also develop more and more agile workforce. And the company used many interventions, to accelerate change. However, coaching was a key process. So what did this company do? The very first step, this company invited a group of 24 executive leaders to come to the training, to come to the coaching skill training. And that was the, 3 months training. Can you imagine asking executive to come to 3 months training? It wasn't easy, right? But this company was doing a great job. So I was trying to help them become very, very comfortable, using coaching conversation. But that was not the end of the process. So toward the end of the training, I provided this group of executives with a very structured coaching conversation that they can apply right away to help that people navigate through change. So the purpose of coaching has, many purposes, but to help them really put it into practice, we as an external coach, we need to help the organization do that. But what this organization did very well, after this executive group has graduated from this program, this group of executive was assigned to coach a group of young leaders right away after they have graduated. And this group of younger leaders has just gone through a leadership training called Digital Leadership Skill. And so they were assigned, to coach on one-on-one. And the work team of this organization did a wonderful job, because toward the end of the one-on-one coaching, they collect the feedback from the coachee. And the coachee gave excellent feedback to the coach, right? So the coach felt very good. And they felt like, they are doing something that is meaningful to the company, because what they were doing was aligned with the change direction. But at the same time, the younger leader appreciate them. So they start to talk about coaching. And, the language of coaching happen to take place in the boardroom now. People are recommending each other, you better go and attend the coaching sessions and everything. So they start to give public relation, to other people. And later on, we equip them middle levels of management with a very simple coaching skill. Some of the teams that needed to speed the change, one-on-one coaching training isn't enough. If they want to speed the change in their departments, they need to have the team coaching education, because this is how they speed up the change. And when people come to the team coaching training, we as external coach, we have to make sure that they bring the real change agenda to the practice, so that toward the end, of the training, they have a set of change activities that they can apply right away, so that people don't feel like, it's a waste of time, at the end of the training. So what do I do with my training? Well, a lot to say, but if I am to summarize the 3 key things that this company did very well in terms of expanding the roles of coaching into the change and transformation, this is CCC. To make it easy for everyone to remember, CCC. The first C is communication. The second one is continuation. And the third one is connecting. Well, go to the first one, communication. I think the message of this company that was sent across very clearly is the purpose of coaching. We have to really, separate the chasing number meeting with the coaching meeting. Because managers and leaders in the organization, when they learn how to apply coaching, many of them will, do the same meeting, chasing number, and also coaching employee. If we say that coaching is to help employees, just like Teresa mentioned, coaching help employees in many ways. If we say that is the purpose, we have to do it, and we have to separate the chasing number meeting with the coaching meeting. We say we do what we say, communication. And the second one is continuation. If once people have finished coaching training, I feel good, I love it. So we need to have a stage for them to apply, so that they will not forget. And I think everyone knows that, in this room, in this summit, that coaching is the compounding effect. When you coach someone today, they are not going to be better right away the next morning. It is the compounding effect. It has to be accumulated, and we want people to continue to use coaching. And this organization, this client of mine, they did a wonderful job. They assign people to do something right after the training, and they also have the annual a recognition event for the leaders and managers who invested time to coach their own employees, and also to coach employees of other teams. They invested time for someone else also. And the last one, connecting. Once the organizations have already understood how to use coaching, we as external coach, we need to help them maximize the values of coaching skill. It's not the end of the training. For example, when they come back and say, "Oh, Kara, we would like to create a culture of psychological safety." So how can we help them apply coaching to accelerate psychological safety in their organization? If they come to you and said, "I want to create a culture of new way of work or agile culture," so how can we help them integrate coaching process to accelerate what they want to achieve, right? All right, so I better shut up. Talk too much.
Thank you very much for sharing the story. I think it's very good to get to hear your experience of our organization using coaching for change and transformation. I think from Teresa and Bambang, Teresa mentioned everyone can fly, so everyone can get to be coach. So I think a lot of different perspective of purpose that and the role of coaching organization, and I appreciate all the sharing. Just it's okay, just share, and then hopefully most of the people on this platform right now can learn a lot of things from each of you. Well, I think that leads to the second question we're looking at is identifying the key organization challenges that coaching can be most suitable. So just share the next question for the internal coach to start with. So what are the top 3 challenges within your organization where coaching can have the greatest impact? Well, this time maybe I start with Bambang first.
Thank you. Yeah. So from the sharing of Coach Chara, I also remember that it's about building the ecosystem. So it's not only talk about how to coach, what is coaching, but it's about building the ecosystem, because I used to be in a different industry, and I will say that coaching is not always part of the way of work in each of the organization or industry. So maybe it's a nature way of working in the startup, in the multi-generations workplace, but in an organization that have top-down style, like in the manufacturing plantations, it's certainly a new way of doing the work. So it's a different story on how to start the coaching in the industry, in the corporate. So coaching itself is already a new way of working. So how that we can have coaching as one of the tools in the organization, that's also the challenge itself when we are talking about using the coachings. And if we look at the top 3 challenges, so I share with you also from the result that we have from the I shared in the chat box. So it is say that the first challenge is how that we can use the coaching in leadership development strategy. So how that we can have the leaders who also have a coaching as a tool, and also how that we can use coachings in part of the strategy in the organization. And also the second one is about how that we can use coaching to improve communication skills and improve decision making. Of course, I think when we are talking about any of a learning program, we also have about budget constraints. So we are aiming for all employee, but somehow we have to prioritize. And right now, I think even though the participants of the survey, I think 58% from US and 40%, 42% out from US. I think it may represents other than US area. That the first one is for leaders, the second one is for talents, and the third one is about the succession planning process. So there are 3 main area, and of course, when we see the benefit, we are aiming for having more, but then there's always a challenge for us but it's interesting when we are talking about how that manager or leaders can use the coaching skill. Mostly it's for improve the communication skill and increase the employee engagement, and also improve the teamwork. So it is right that Kara said that it's not only about the coaching itself, but how that it can give the echo for the environment that impact the communication, the way that people engage to each other, and also bring a positive environment. So I think that's my thought on the challenges that we have, but at the same
ดี
time,
แล้วดีแล้
there's
วคุณท่าน
also
ใช้
a
ประโย
lot
ชน์
of
ได้ดีแล้วค่ะ
opportunities.
ดีแล้วอ๋อแล้วจริ
Thank
ง
you,
อ่ะ
BakChai.
แล้วเนี่ยแล้วเรากราฟิกอะไรก็มาโพสต์กับพี่เด่นต่อมา
Someone mute, please. Sorry about it, Bambang. You're so mute.
No worries.
Would you have anything else to add on, or?
No, I think that's all for our conversation. Yeah.
Thank you very much for sharing the screens about from ICF study. What about you, Teresa?
Yeah, I kind of like very agree with what Bambang has just said. And in fact, listening to both Atchara, Coach Atchara and Bambang, I kind of like would like to just add on to another point, right? That we always say that change is the only constant, and then Coach Atchara just say that change and able to change, right, is what coaching has bring a lot of benefit. And I agree with you because I've seen that it's really helpful, and I'm speaking from the experience that I happened to be in one of the coaching cohort sessions, and that sessions during that time we were talking about change management. And it happens to be a couple of the leaders who were in that sessions is undergoing some of the changes in their organization. So they're trying to navigate through that the flux and also trying to adopt facing those disruptions. So what happens is that we share some of the skills some of the tools that they can use in that sessions, and they found that it's so useful to them. And I remember under the sessions, and they told us that they see the change as a growth opportunity and not an obstacle, and they know how to go back to talk to their people, how to help them to thrive through the sessions, thrive through that situation. It's not just navigate, but thrive through that. They see that change as an opportunity for them to be able to embrace something that will bring something good in the end of the day. So I personally see that change happens even within the leaders who go through that cohort sessions. So I think that's powerful. And then on top of what Coach Bambang has just mentioned, as well as Coach Atchara, you mentioned about the ecosystem, right? I see that this is very important and powerful, because that's where you're going to help to foster a very collaborative and engaged kind of workplace, where the employees feel that I'm safe to tell you something. I feel that I'm being valued. You are supporting me. And with that, it's going to be creating that motivations, which indirectly helps in retentions, right? Because coaching is going to build a culture where people want to stay, they want to grow, and they want to contribute. So it's not just about money, but also, some of this intrinsic stuff that you're bringing to the table to encourage your employee to come together with you and go through that, the organization environments and contribute and being productive. And then the other point that I feel that is very helpful from coaching perspective is enhancing the leadership effectiveness, which I think Coach Bambang, you mentioned about that, on this leadership effectiveness, how you enhance their skill sets, right? And I see that coaching is something that is helping people to build confidence. You help to sharpen their critical skills, even to a certain extent, like the emotional intelligence, how do you do strategic decision making. And speaking from what I've seen happens is how coaching actually empowers the leaders to manage a major change with confidence and empathy. So what happens, one of the leader in the sessions share an aha moment that was so simple and powerful. So this is what she said. She said, I realized that I don't have to jump in with solutions, because a lot of times as managers and leaders, you tend to want to offer something, you want to offer solutions, you want to help your people. And then because of that, you give the solutions. So what she learned from this coaching practice is that she doesn't have to offer solutions. She doesn't need to jump into that with solutions. We just need to listen and ask the right questions. And then she feels that suddenly people are so engaged and valued, they just, come in with a solution. So she said, I just need to listen and the magic happens. And she said, I wish I learned this years ago. So this is the power of coaching, right? So it equips the leader to create impact, not by doing more, but you help to empower others to find their own answers. And with that, there will feel more ownership within them, and you can transform those leaders to become great ones. So it's a win for the leaders. It's also a win for everyone who is led by these powerful leaders.
Thank you very much, Teresa, for adding on to what Bambang shared. Well, let's hear from Atchara, from the external coach perspective. What are the challenges?
Yeah, listening to Coach Bambang and Teresa, I really want to work in your company. You really put great importance on leadership, and also Teresa company care a lot about multiplying abilities of employees in many ways. Well, if I'm to say that in short, challenges that the organization are facing today vary across the context. But if to summarize it in 3 levels, I'm seeing the challenges in 3 levels: individual level, team levels, and organization cultures level. The first level, individual challenge, I think most of the organizations are trying to prepare the next generation leaders in time. When someone resign, when someone retire, and to have someone ready to take the role without having a hiccup in the business continuity, or they don't have problems with stakeholder management. So to have that person ready And as Teresa mentioned, if we always hire, external coach to come and prepare the leaders, then it costs a lot of money. So if the organizations think about, if executives in the organizations are engaged, are involved in preparing, coaching the next generation leaders, organizations save huge money. And that is how coaching can help organization tackle the individual challenge. And at the team levels, I think nowadays, even a normal work team is so diverse with people who come from different generations, work style, and work values. I think if the team leaders and the team members learn how to coach, or learn how to at least communicating like a coach, establishing trust with each other, cultivating safe environment, understanding each other talent, capitalize differences. I think people can shorten a lot of time to build an inclusive team. Well, organizations love to have diverse team because this is how innovation take place, right? But we don't have a process to make diversity to become more inclusive. So, and that's the team level. And for the organization culture. So when we talk about culture, it's not about beautiful wallpaper or desks, or ergonomic chairs, but organization culture is about people interaction. And we have heard about organization that has toxic culture, right? When people are interacting with each other, showing anger, allowing emotion in charge without using a kind of, coaching communicating like a coach to resolve conflict together. So I think that would be the kind of ideal organization that would attract and retain talents. Nobody wants to work within the toxic culture organization. So that's the 3 levels that I think most of the organizations are facing as challenges. Yeah, back to Coach BakChai.
Thank you, Chana, for sharing the 3 level, and also Bambang and Teresa for sharing their challenges in the organization. Well, I've been asked by ICF Bangkok to share my personal experience in having challenges in coaching in organization. I did my coaching learning, executive coaching. I completed 2010. That time I was still working as a general manager, running multiple factories in China. So I learned it because I wanted to be able to do informal in-house coaching style leadership. It's using coaching style, not the normal 1 hour. It's coaching style where I'm more asking questions. So that was my challenge from shifting from a traditional giving solution and transition to a coaching style leadership where I ask questions so my people can do the work. Rather, I do the work. As Teresa mentioned, right? If I know how to ask early, I don't need to think of all the solution. Let my team do the solution. So that was one of my challenges for me personally, transforming myself into more asking, being a executive coach, but I was an informal in-house where for me to be successful, I need to meet the numbers. So I use a different style after the coaching that I went through. So that's my personal experience where I use the coach we call coach on the go. So instead of telling, I asking. So eventually the next challenge I had was try to transform. It's easier when it's top down versus bottom up. So giving coaching, in-house coaching training for my own, we call my directors and my managers. And the challenge is having them to internalize that it's helped them. Because they're also so used to just telling their people what to do versus asking first and explore with them and go deeper. So there's another challenge that I personally face over time, but I need to constantly, as you said, the connection, the consistency, and the continuation of being top-down driving is helped a lot. So hopefully the sharing is give us more learning from all different chairs or different coaches that we have here today. Well, we're going to shift to another different areas that in coaching organization, in the areas by selecting coaching resources and partners. So this one I'll start with Chara. So what are the vital few criteria your client will use to select you as their coaching partners?
Yeah, I think this is it's different perspective depending on what you are hired for. But I think Teresa and Coach Bambang will talk from organization perspective. So allow me to talk from the perspective from executive coach. Number one, I think your credential helps, provided that you do uphold the ethical standards. It doesn't have to be ICF, but you can, once you have been credentialed by an association, ethical standard really differentiate you from other coaches. And clients, they forgive you for a typo in the reports, but clients don't forgive you for unethical behaviors. And we have to be very good at this, and I really encourage everyone to be very good at ethical standard. This is how you establish the trusting relationship with the clients. And second thing, it's our own storytelling. I think this is how I am hired, by the clients, because they love to hear your story. It doesn't have to be always a good story, but something that you fail and you learned through it. And I encourage, all the coaches to be very good at journaling. Take notes, at the end of the day, what did I do well as a coach? What didn't I do well, and what did I learn? We ask the clients to write journal, but as a coach, we can also write our own journal, because the story that you are telling the clients, it should be true story, and it should come from you. It's crafted by you, so that it sounds compelling, convincing. So this is the second thing that I think is important. And final thing, it's the feedback. We have to be very good in giving, take courage to giving feedback and also receiving feedback, because most of the sponsor, who hires us as executive coach, they expect their executive to be very good in giving and receiving feedback. And we have to always, ask our clients for feedback. And this is how we learn and grow as a coach. We are not perfect, and we are not good in everything. So at the end of the coaching sessions, I normally ask my client and also ask my sponsor toward the end of the process of what can I do, how can I improve myself, and I think that's important 3 points.
Thank you for the 3 points. Now I move to Teresa. So how do your organization choose coaching partners, and what factors influence your decision whether to use external coach or internal coach or both?
Okay, I'm going to go a little bit differently in that sense, right? So first of all, I would say that when it comes to selecting coaching partners, we tend to leverage with internal coaches as much as possible. I think you understand why, right? That's why we try to have that ecosystem being set up, have that coaching community. Why? Because we believe that the homegrown coaches will understand the nuances of our organization culture, the values, and the goals. And to do that, one thing that I love is actually we set up an internal coaching ecosystem with a website that is featuring the profiles of each internal coach. And this is the part that I like, because it kind of like showcase the background and the expertise of each of the internal coach that we have in the organization. So what the employee can do is that they can browse through these profiles, and you treat it just like an online shopping. You look through the coach, you see which is the one that may have a better chemistry match with you, best aligns with your goals, and then you can just book a session directly with the coach. So we kind of make this personalized, and it's on the other hand, it's like an on-demand kind of coaching experience to our employees. So that is something that I feel that is very wonderful that my organization had. Now, on the other hand, I also recognize that sometimes we do have some specialized needs, and often could be at the executive level, or maybe in the areas that require really very specific or niche expertise. And this is where we're going to bring in the external coach, because external coach is going to bring in really a fresh perspective. And a lot of times they also serve like a trusted advisors, especially if you are in a very high stake kind of situation or major organization shift, right? Say, for example, you are navigating through a major organization change like mergers, acquisitions or restructures, this kind of very disruptive things that can create uncertainty or anxiety within the employees. And this is a time that the leaders will really have to build the trust very quickly, very quickly with the teams, right? So in that sense, when you bring in the external coach, it can offers you with something that is outside perspective, outside in, right? That helps the executives to see a bigger picture, and to a certain extent, it's like also a broader industry context. And given that the external coach has experience working with other organizations, that may have also undergone similar changes. So they can bring in these insights and perspective that helps the leaders to see from another angle and come up with the strategies and solutions. And I see that this is the part that will be really valuable, where we can bring in the external coach.
Of deciding when to use internal, when to use external. How about you, Bambang? Hey, Bambang, you're on mute.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, so there's a lot of ways when we are looking for sources for doing the coaching. So, but when we are talking about how that we find the external coaches, and you are right, Teresa, that mostly is for the executive coach and some of the talent and part of the succession planning. Mostly it comes to two words. It's trust and credibility. So like Chara said that the credibility can be seen from the credential, and the trust usually come from referral. So usually the C level or the human capital, the learning will source with some referrals, and also from some of the consulting that give some referral of those coaches that suitable with the needs that we have. And those trust and credibility also comes up with the previous experiences that the coaches already have in but it's quite funny that in some of the sponsor, they still cannot really differentiate between coaching and mentoring. So like, the person should be from the same industry, which is we will say it's not necessary, because I also admit as first time as a coach, maybe I say, oh, it's easy because I know the industry and I know what that the client is talking. Actually, it's a bit tricky. When we know about the things, we are trapped into uh, the way that it's not about coaching. So it's about telling, it's about teaching. So that's some of the real situation that we see. But then we also see that's an expectation from the user of the sponsor, that this should solve some of the problems. So that's why we need the learning, or the CEO who understand the coaching, align that, so that we can have the understanding of what is the coaching and what is expected at the end of the coaching process. So I think that's also can be seen in the 2019 survey, and we can see that that the same things also we can have here, that most of the participants of the survey say that it relies on the referral from the trusted individuals, and also using the consulting firm. And if we see in the 2023 study, there's also said that usually the coaching process is also part of the consulting and training program. So sometimes it's not standalone, but it's also a part of a program. So it's no harm, but it's really challenging if you play a different hat with the same person. So people cannot differentiate whether you are using a coach hat or you're using a a consulting head or you are a trainer. With the same things, the same challenge happen in the organization when you are using internal coach, because at the same time, how that you can speak freely if the coach is your supervisor, or if the coach is may have a conflict of interest in the structures or in the organization. So that's not really a safe area for some people. That's why that external coach is an advantage in those circumstances. Yeah, so I think that's maybe some insight on how that we can integrate coaching in the corporation.
Sharing, I think you did mention about conflict of interest. We'll park that discussion if we do have time. So I just still on the internal coaching. I think the question some of the participant would like to hear is, if I want to join your company, Teresa and Bambang, as an internal coach, what is my minimal requirement, or how do I apply? Or maybe Teresa knows.
Sure. So probably I start a little bit with our coaching pathway in the organization. So how we do is that for those who are interested to be a coach, we have the coaching training program to grow and develop the coaching talent. And we also align with ICF standards and credentials like L1 and L2, right? And what differentiates that, if you want to move further than that, is counting on your experience working with the senior leaders or executives. So within the organization, for the employee, if you want to advance to the roles like leadership coach or executive coach, that's where your experience counts. So for you are the ICF coaches, you are already there. You do not need the coaching training, all these things. So the only thing that we are counting on is your experience and your engagement working with the organization, on the C-suite people, on the leadership team. This is the one that we'll be looking for. And if you have all those, then you definitely will be able to contribute in terms of the leadership coach or executive coach. And when we say leadership coach and executive coach, we are referring to different levels of people that this coach will be dealing with. So of course, executive coach, as the name implies, is going to be C-suite, right? And what's nice about that is you also get a digital badge. So if you are executive coach, you've got a digital badge to recognize that. Isn't that so cool?
Oh, that's good. Thank you very much. I see a pretty face from Leanne. So we are 5 minutes left. So Bambang, keep it short. Then I'll hand it over to the MC.
Yes, no,
Sure.
That's Coach Bambang answer, and I was gonna say
Yes.
to Coach BakChai, it's surprisingly that one of the next question that you have we have prepared for our guests that about measuring coaching effectiveness is also one of the questions sent by the participants, so that should be interesting.
Let's Bambang respond to the coach. How do I join your company as an internal coach?
Yes, thank you, BakChai. First, you should be part of our employee first, so you can be part of the internal coach. Yes, I think the first thing is about having the ecosystem, and first thing about the ecosystem is having the coaching mindset. So when we want the internal coach having the coaching mindset, I think the first step is the leaders or the employee should experience having a coaching approach as a leader. So as Chara said, as leader, as a coach. So if you have experience being a leader as a coach, then you experience some of the competencies as a coach. Then you can step more into the coaching itself and then be the internal coach. So that's my short answer.
Thank you. Well, when can we apply? Well, we go to the next question. That one we can start with the Chara. Let the other two internal coach take a break. Is measuring coaching effectiveness. So Chara, how do your client measure the success of your coaching program? What key performance indicators or feedback
Yeah.
mechanism? You did mention some feedback, but are most useful for you?
Yes, that's a very good questions, and that leads to the ICF core competency number 3, establishing and maintaining agreements. I'm not saying that this is the best approach for everyone, okay? So, I mean, different coaches can have different ways to measure, but I don't set the indicator. I don't set the measure. And I don't even offer any instruments. We need to ask the customer what they would like to achieve and why, how is it meaningful, and how best they would like to measure the success. That's the first level of establishing agreement. Unless, the customer say that, coach, we don't have any instrument, we don't have any indicators. Can you suggest us something? Then we would, do some suggestion. And of course, if we get some commission out of it, we have to be transparent with the clients, right? So, but that's the first level. So first level, it's what is the sponsor looking for? The sponsor is organization. But then when you get to talk to your clients, I mean, the person that you are coaching, again, we have to help them align, because sometimes the client they have different goals from what the sponsor want them to achieve. So how can we bring, three parties, to sit and talk and agree on how are we going to measure the success of the program? And that's the second level. That's from the coaching client himself or herself. But the third level is that, every time that we get to meet the coach, our coachee or client, sometimes they will bring up the goal, the measurement of the whole process. But many times, based on my experience, they came up with something else to talk about. And as an ICF coach, we need to honor, our clients, and every time, whatever agenda they bring up, then we have to always ask them, how are you gonna measure the success? How are you gonna know that you achieve it? Because when someone said, Kara, I wanna be more confident. What does it mean to be confident? My confidence and their confidence could be different. So how does it look like? And how are you going to measure? How could you know that you are confident already? How are we going to measure it? That's the third levels of, indicator and measurement. And once the client is satisfied, this is the measurement they want to use, and they use it and we use it. Everyone is happy at the end. That is my my perspective. And again, I'm not saying that this is best for everyone. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. That's a good sharing about always ask the client first. But let's look from the internal in-house coaches. What do you do, Teresa?
I would say that one of the most common tools that we use is always the before after, right? The pre and the post coaching assessment. And that's where you can kind of take a snapshots of the people or the participants who've gone through the coaching program. And by looking at and comparing the results, you'll be able to see whether there's any transformational growth, right? But I'm also taking a step back on that and also align with what Atchara has said, right? We have to first know what is our sponsors or our clients' goal. So, and I were to tie back to one of the program that I have launched before. We first launched a program that we call a high performance coaching culture initiative, which we piloted in one of the business units in Malaysia. So what happened back then, we actually didn't start with any KPI or any rigid targets. And I remember asking our VP what specific KPI he had in mind. And then his response was really, really refreshingly wise. He said, let's focus on raising the coaching awareness first. Raising the awareness about coaching, and then the rest will follow. So instead of giving us a lot of these KPI, high metrics from day one, we focus on really fundamental things, fundamental goals like raising the awareness, educate people, get the early adopters. And we help the employees to understand what is coaching about, like what Coach Bambang has said, right? Differentiate what is mentoring, what is coaching. That's really a fundamental, but a lot of times people just have this intertwined, they couldn't differentiate what is what. So we wanted to help people to understand what is coaching about, what is mentoring about, why it matters, and when do you choose what. So, and then from there, we built a coaching culture from that ground up. So So that's how we started with that program. Now, of course, as it's more matured, we start to establish a couple of practical KPI, like we look at how many internal coaches has been trained, has been developed, how many coaching hours we achieve, and then more importantly, how many people actually engage in coaching, and also get the insights and surveys from those people who have gone through the coaching. How do they see? How do they feel from that coaching experience? And also from the coach's manager, do they see those people who've gone through this coaching program? Do we see transformational change from those people? Are they seeing that these people are helping the rest of the people to become better? So all these things are coming together. So in a nutshell, I think the KPIs, whether it's there or not, I think fundamentally we wanted to know what is our goal that we're trying to achieve. And once you get that fundamental thing set, the rest of the KPIs can come.
So, could you elaborate on how you track the coaching awareness level?
So what we do is that I still remember the first time when we actually piloted with like about 15 managers who opt in. Yeah, all those passionate leaders who sign up for that. And we asked one question. One of the questions in the surveys say, "What is your knowledge?" There are a couple of questions raised. And I remember when we first received that survey, it was a bit shocking. We got a rating like 30%, the knowledge level. So that was kind of from that assessment. And then after the program that span through like 4 to 6 months, we asked again similar questions. And then now we got results that is 90 over plus, which is really a huge jump. And then talking to them and also, hearing what they are saying, we found that they actually understand that and able to grasp that and also able to put it into practice. I think that's even more important, that they are able to practice that with the people around them, with the coaches that are coming to them seeking for help.
So you do the before and after with the pilot group.
That's correct.
Thank you. How about you, Bambang? You're on mute.
Yeah. So I think it's right about goals. And the first question is about the goals of having coaching on site, because that will define what that we want to measure. Let's say if we are still about coaching, then the parameter will just unjustify that the coaching is the right tools. So it will be different situations, and it will be really challenging if we start having coaching as part of the tools when we are saying that it will help, that we are not, and we start this with those who are having bad performance. Then if we have the coaching for success when we are doing the goal setting, so that's already a different paradigm. So I think that more and more conversation that we put the coaching mindset. I think it's great that Teresa can start the KPI, start from the coaching awareness instead of having a lot of things put inside the parameter for having the KPI for coaching itself. And it can be anything, because whenever an organization can have, oh, we want to have coaching for the situation that the sales are dropped. So we are hoping that by having coaching that we can improve the number of the sales and everything. So I think it's really different, and that's more about how that coaching can help the organizations.
Thanks for sharing. As you shared, coaching is for high performance, not to fix problem.
So,
Thank
some
you.
question from our participant. To Teresa, if I were one of your internal coaches, what can I do to increase my chance of being chosen by the employees to be their coach?
So first of all, I think it's you get to be more presence in a way. It's like you need to show your presence more so that people get to know you. A couple of things that you can do, probably some sharing on coaching experience in some of the talk that we have in the company. So when people see you, people get to know you, the chances of picking you will be higher.
Okay,
Just my simple answer.
thank you. Put some spotlight on yourself, okay? Okay, next question. How can we address employees' preference for external coaching due to concern that sharing with an internal coach may compromise their confidentialities? I think this is to all of you.
Me, Bambang will try first.
Who want to go first? Or you want me to repeat it again?
Yes, please.
Yes. How can we address employees' preference for external coach due to concern that sharing with an internal coach may compromise confidentiality? I think it's mean that sometimes, I mean, there's advantage as an internal, but there are also disadvantage. So sometimes they feel more comfortable to talk to external coach because there might be an conflict of interest with an internal coach. So how can we address preference for external?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Coach Bambang.
Yeah, I think it's spots on that sometimes there's a question on coaching agreement, but I think it's the same. But then the credibility play a role here, that in the previous experience of this coaching program, is there any breach on this? Or because then it's going to be a part of the conversation in the organization, then there's come up on that. Or it's a culture of the organizations. When we are confidential, we are saying it's confidential, it's only here, but another person say it's confidential, it's only here, but then it goes to the whole organization. So I think it's also can be seen as a feedback from the employee for the program itself.
Depends on the feedback, yes, from employees. See. Anyone would like to answer, or should we move to the next question?
Yeah, I think just very briefly, I think we can address it by being very open to the employees, the pro and con of having internal and external coach. And it also depends, because if his and her leaders are the coach, that would be very difficult to keep everything confidential, especially when it comes to performance related issues, and the employee should know, right? Because it's the organization process. But if we are coaching people as internal coach, it means that we are not the direct boss. When I train the internal coach, I also have them apply the same ethical standard with ICF standard. It means that we have to talk to the coachee, what is confidential and what is not, and what they can talk and what they cannot talk to other people. Yeah.
Thank you. Ethical standard, ICF ethical standard, especially. Thank you very much. I think we have more time for one or two more questions. For either internal or external coach speaker, can you describe an experience with a coach wherein a decision made on a matter of ethic differs, depending on whether the coach was internal employee or an external person? Similar to the previous question, in the same area, I think. But as in your experience.
Anyone can jump in.
Yeah, I'm reading the questions one more time. I think
It's okay, I read exact word. Can you describe an experience with a coach wherein a decision made on a matter of ethic differ, depending on whether the coach was an internal employee or an external person? That's exactly what it was saying. Did you catch?
yeah, I'm still a little bit
I'm trying to
confused with the question.
yeah, I'm trying to understand this question also, but okay. Anyway, to save time, let's move to the next question first, and we can coming back again.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Advantage of internal coaching and investments and budget allocation from organization and top leader commitment is the key for success. What is your opinion on this?
I kind of, support this idea, Dr. Mercy, right? You address this. I think as normally when you need to invest on a big budget like certifying leaders and managers as coaches to become an internal coach, for me it takes millions. And also not just the money. Sometimes money is not a matter, but it's the time investment of the executive and the people in the organizations, right, to perform as an internal coach. So we really have to have the executive very committed to this. And again, coaching is not a one night improvement. And people will have to be able to wait for the compounding effect. If we want to coach a team to have a better sales the next morning, it's not possible. And many times when I train the people in my class, I always say, don't set the coaching goals as your sales figure. Once you achieve the sales figure, how do you know that your employees have improved on selling skill? It could be because of luck, right? It could be because someone else helped them. So, and when someone needs to develop themselves through, certain times, then we have to be able to wait. And because of that, it's time investment, stress sometimes also, money. Yeah, we need to have a top leadership commitment into it. But for them to buy in, there are many ways to do it, but I think one of the best ways is to have them experience the value of coaching by themselves. You can use executive coaching. You can help their team, adjust or adapt to changes or whatever. But show them the evidence that coaching helps. And when they see it, experience it with their eyes, they would, spend anything that they have in hand. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was great insight. I think the next question is for our internal coach. How to build coaching culture in organization when the president, the director, or the owner avoid to participate?
Yeah, I think it's been answered also by Arne Bloom that's coaching opportunity with the president director then.
Exactly. I still believe that the commitment from the top is very important. You need the support from the top. And in fact, if you have them to be participating in the coaching, be one of the coach will be even better still because they role model, they walk the talk, and they set the tone for the organization. That is the crucial part.
Yes.
Can I also say something? Because I think this is maybe something that sometimes we overlooked. Some of the president or director, avoid coaching. It's not because they are against it. Some of them experience the a wrong kind of coaching. sometimes somebody gave them some incorrect way of coaching and they had bad experience. And when they came into the meeting of creating coaching culture, they already have filters in their head. It's not going to work. I didn't like it. I didn't like this psychometric test, whatever that somebody used with him. So if we are someone who would like to create a coaching culture, we can coach them back. I mean, we can coach the executive, why didn't you like it? What went wrong? What was your experience? Many people have limiting belief because of their previous experience, right? So we have to help them break through that limiting belief. Just one experience doesn't generalize everything. So coach them, but don't tell them that you're coaching them. Just ask them questions.
One more question. I think there's two questions similar, so I will group it together. So how do you effectively manage the three party, coach, client, and sponsor? Where do you draw the line in terms of sharing information, and how do you create a win-win for the three parties?
I'd like to go first.
I think that's the question to me. Okay, please, Coach Bambang.
For me, I think it's part of the works that we should have done in the coaching agreement. So when we are doing the first part, when we are talking about how that we want to roll on this coaching program, so then we ask the sponsor on what is this coaching about, and then what is expected, and then at the same time, then usually before the session, we also have the session with the clients, and then we have sometimes there's also someone from the human capital or learning will be there to bridge the session and then share with us, and there where we have the understanding about the program itself. So maybe Teresa and Kara can add on.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Just very, very short. I think transparency is the key. And whenever there's no transparency between three parties, I mean, if we are talking about executive coaching, right? Feel free to walk away. Really, if the three parties doesn't talk or doesn't make things transparent, so when we move on in the coaching process, it will cause us a lot of problems. And if we feel like we are not comfortable, giving service, just raise the concern to all parties.
And if I may add on, the other piece is the confidentiality and also set the boundaries. What can be said, what can be done, what cannot be done. So that's kind of like set expectations right at the beginning.
My experience is the sponsor and the coachee had a session before the session. And then after the 6 months, we have the session 2 hours together to conclude the session. So this is why you get the win-win-win.
Yes.
Thank you.
I think, look at the time. I think we might have just one last question. It's all so many questions lining up, very interesting, but we also have limited amount of time. So just one last question is, as you gain traction in coaching culture in your organization, how are you able to align your people process, like performance and reward, to this initiative?
I need pretty much to internal coaches.
So I'm thinking about like the coaching programs that we had, right? So we are not really looking into the rewards. However, it comes indirectly because when you do that, people see that and you get more and more people joining, and you will see that your coaching community grow. And when that happens, the recognition will come automatically. People will recognize that, hey, these are the people who are in this community, and they look at them, these are the people who are successful. It kind of like carries that branding with them. And that comes with the recognitions. So we do not really intentionally go and say we go and reward this person or that person, but somehow as the cohort grows, people know you are part of it, more people want to join that, and that good names go. And that goes with you because people say, hey, you're one of this coach in the community. And that goes your branding seems to be higher than the rest.
Like your actions speak for yourself. Coach Bambang?
Yeah. For me, I think this is about how that you do your performance sessions that maybe relate to rewards or benefits. But then it's about new way of doing things. So it's about how that you have the coaching mindset in the performance conversations that you have. So if you are talking about communications, is it about how that you say things or how that you listen during the process? So it's not only about aligning, but it's also how that we do it differently during the performance conversations, during the goal setting conversation, during the mid-year conversation. Is it a top-down or we are doing coaching conversation within the sessions? So I think that's some of the highlight that I see. So we are not talking about integrating. It's already there, but how that we can do it differently.
Thank you so much. That's another insight to this. Coach BakChai, would you like to wrap this up before we
Thank you. Before I summarize and conclude, would like to request each of the panelists to share some word of wisdom that you like the participant to take away as a gift. Maybe I'll start with Atchara.
Yeah, my gift is to, I think coaching is, it's already, about partnering and working with the clients that we want to partner with them and build partnership with them. I think there are many coaches out there who are having many questions. How can I get a job? How can I get accepted and everything? Don't go to customer with that kind of mindset. I think we have to go to see them with a partnership mindset. And when I say that, you may have questions. So how do we know that we have established partnership with the customers? I have a few ways for you to measure it. The first thing, if customers are already seeing you as a partner, the first thing, they will talk with you about other things besides business. They will talk about their personal aspiration, talk about their family, talk about their personal challenges with their boss. So if they start saying something, about themselves with you, so certain, partnership has been established. And remember that organizations doesn't make decision. At the end of the day, the things that make decision to hire you is the people, it's the customer. So don't feel like it's a waste of my time. I don't want to talk personal things with the client. So if they talk about something besides business with you, that's the good news. And second thing, whether they call you and ask you for your opinion about something else that you are not offering, they ask you about other vendors, they talk to you about food opinions, whatever. That's the second thing. And final thing, I keep sticking with the three things. I don't know why. Maybe I talk too much. And final thing, do you enjoy working with them? If you feel like, I so enjoy working with this client, partnership has been established. But if you feel like, I don't want to see this client, I don't want to work with them for some reason, a partnership is two-way streets. Yeah, that's all I want to give you as a gift. Thank you.
Partnership is critical to anything. Thank you. Teresa?
Yeah, so I try to talk about partnerships, so I'm going to talk about something else. So I see that coaching program, if you were to run it, it's about building momentum. It's not just about meeting the goals, not about meeting the KPIs. But as you grow the people, you have one cohort, and then you're going to have another cohort the next year. make the cohort that you have in the previous year become your alumni, become your ally. That's going to help to have those exponential kind of growth to help you to grow the future leaders together with your future cohort sessions. And with that, you're going to have that multiplier effect and build that momentum ongoing.
Thank you. Bambang?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunity as external coaches. There's also a lot of opportunity as internal coaches. And it's a good thing that we have the leaders as a coach also. So let's promote coaching.
Thank you very much for all your words of wisdom. So you pretty much summarized everything for me, so I can say thank you very much. But anyway, just to summarize, we've covered a lot of things here. We've covered the role of coaching. We've covered how you select partners, and we've covered challenges, how coaching can help. So I think in short, all of us gain a lot value from today's session. And I seeing the messages coming in. I think our time is too short. We should have more time.
Yes.
So let me hand it back to the MC to take it from here. Thank you very much to all the panelists.
Thank you. Thank you, Coach BakChai.
Thank you. It's so wonderful. We still keep getting questions coming in. They're so interested. Everything you say, it's still, popping up on the chat. But unfortunately, like Coach BakChai said, we're coming to the end of the session. So on behalf of the ICF Bangkok Charter Chapter and all ICF coaches in Thailand, we extended our heartfelt thanks to our distinguished guest speaker, our moderator, who is a representative from ICF Malaysia, and of course, all of you, our participants. This event would not be the same without your presence and engagement. So thank you for making this a success. As we're closing today's session, I'd like to acknowledge a special celebration happening this week in Thailand, which is Loi Krathong. I don't know, maybe some of you familiar with this, but Loi Krathong, or Festival of Light, is a Thai festival that honors goddess of water and celebrate new beginning. Much like our purpose here today, as we come together to mark the start of something impactful and lasting for the ASEAN coaching community. So celebrate this new beginning and the spirit of Loi Krathong. So we would like to invite all of you to join us in a small Thai dance together. Let's embrace this beautiful tradition together and share Loi Krathong together. So our team, we can share some small Thai dancing for this. You can do this. Easy, whichever easy for you. And we can all do this with the dance and the music.
12น้ำก็นองเป็นตะลิ่งเราทั้งหลายชายหญิงสนุกกันจริงวันลอยกระทงลอยกระทงลอยกระทงลอยกระทงกันแล้วขอเชิญน้องแก้วออกมารำวงวันลอยกระทงรำวงวันลอยกระทงบุญจะส่งให้เราสุขใจบุญจะส่งให้เราสุขใจวันเพ็ญเดือน12น้ำก็นองเต็มตลิ่งเราทั้งหลายชายหญิงสนุกกันจริงวันลอยกระทงลอยกระทงลอยกระทงลอยกระทงกันแล้วขอเชิญน้องแก้วออกมารำวงวันลอยกระทงรำวงวันลอยกระ บุญจะส่งให้เราสุขใจ
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was wonderful seeing all of us joining together to celebrate this. Thank you. Okay, just a reminder, please remember to claim your CCE credit by completing the session evaluation through the link or QR code providing at the end of session. Once submitted, then your CCE credit will be processed. And before we close, a quick highlight for tomorrow event, day 4 now. The final day of the ICF ASEAN Virtual Summit hosted by ICF Philippines will be explore the theme Strengthening ASEAN Coaches for a Future-Ready Community. Our panelists will feature diverse perspectives on coaching family, from thought leaders, coaching organization, ICF professional pathway, credentialing, and much more, so don't miss out. And also, I would like to extend a special invitation to all participants for tomorrow's session. In the spirit of ASEAN unity, diversity, and inclusion, we encourage you to join us in wearing traditional clothes. Let's celebrate the rich diversity of our region together and make tomorrow's final session a memorable one. Now, thank you so much. You've been a wonderful audience, and we look forward to seeing all of you in your beautiful traditional clothes tomorrow. Goodbye and thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
ขอบคุณ
See
ค่ะ
you again tomorrow.
Good night.
See you again.
Yeah, thank you.